board for you.
Where is that? Oh, it's a presentation?
No,
Well,
it needs to give approval for the
you know what?
Where is that?
special announcement.
How are you?
Okay, got it. Okay.
God bless. Good for you.
How are you? Good seeing you. Happy New Year.
They're going to be speaking. Do we have everybody? Our borough attorney will be coming in as soon as possible. He's running a little late, and but we can continue without him. You'll notice computers. This is the last meeting that we are using paper. So starting in February, everybody's going to have their little computers up.
Of course,
At
me
this-
being the tech-forward person, I have mine ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. I've been ready.
He's ready. So at this time, please, speaking of tech, please look at your phones, make sure it's on vibrate and not, so it doesn't ring because it is annoying. And also, please refrain from texting because it's discourteous, disruptive, and could be construed as a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So at this time, roll call.
Mayor Schrager,
Here.
Councilman Bialy.
Here.
Councilman Knapp.
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman Levy.
Here.
Councilman Vinatelli.
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
Please stand for the salute to the flag. Remain standing for a moment of silence. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. So, I'm going to start, because I've been holding on to something for over a year. And it is a certificate, a congressional certificate of recognition presented to Mike Guadino on the occasion of the first annual 5th District Hometown Heroes Award. And it is for improving the lives of others in our community, and that Mike Guadino has displayed excellence in the community activism, public service, and leadership. And it's by Josh Gottheimer. It's a certificate that was presented to Mike Guadino, who, on December 18th, 2017. So I'm finally presenting this to you, Mike. I've been holding on to this. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Thank you,
It's
buddy.
yours. You deserve it.
Thank you
Speech,
for your
Mike,
work.
speech.
He doesn't want to speak.
Oh, go ahead, speak. Come on, you like to speak.
Leave him alone.
So speaking of rec, I started by saying, I wrote this, that patience is a virtue, but it's not easy. Patience is not easy to have, especially when dealing with government procedures and bureaucracy. So at this time, I'm happy to announce that 3 projects that have been delayed for a very long time are finally moving forward. The first are the rec bathrooms. And both bathrooms should finally be completed in April, anticipating completion by the second week in April, in time for the spring sports. So it'll be a pleasant experience to use new bathrooms. The second delay that is finally coming is the Stream House. Unfortunately, many years ago, this property was conjoined with the Van Allen House, so we needed to follow New Jersey state historical rules and regulations. If we just dismantled the Stream House, I can't even speak tonight, I apologize. If we had dismantled the Stream House, we could have been fined. We would lose historic recognition to the Van Allen House. We would lose possible grant money, and we would be penalized by the state of New Jersey and possibly the county. So tonight, there's a resolution on the agenda to hire a very reputable firm, Connolly and
Hickey.
Hickey. Said Higgins. Connolly and Hickey, and they are going to have a proposal plan to present to the state to dismantle the Stream House. I know it's hard to believe, and a plan to do something on that property. And the third item that's been delayed, and again, being patient, is the property on Roosevelt Boulevard. Bid openings are projected to be on February 5th. So all the neighbors around Roosevelt Boulevard, I've been emailing and keeping you posted that the bids are out and the proposal, and hopefully, once February 5th comes around with the bid openings, we will have those houses starting to go down.
Demolish. Raised.
Well, I say that, but not everybody understands that, so I said go down.
Very good.
But the word is raised, but then people get confused. We're
This
not
Bringing it
raising
up, it's putting it down.
We're raising it down.
No, dismantled as we used.
Dismantle, we'll say that too. Special thank you to DPW for another outstanding job, making our roads clear and safe. They're wonderful. We have to be so thankful for all our DPW workers. Also, a reminder that DPW is still picking up Christmas trees throughout town, throughout the month of January. Just put them out, they're going around town randomly picking up, no special time or date for a particular street. But you must remove all plastic bags, lights, decorations, tree stands, and any attachments. Good news. Mike Guanino, who helped us get the piece of 9/11 that's in Veterans Park. Well, we did receive a donation of the flag that was flying over the World Trade Center. And the Port Authority donated the flag that had flown above the World Trade Center on 9/11. It's been in storage at the administrator's office until we could find a suitable location. And our assistant administrator, along with our library director, came up with an idea, and they identified a location at the library that would be suitable. The flag and certificate will be put in a small frame display case and mounted to the wall area, and that's very exciting. But what's even more exciting is how wonderful this town is and comes together when people are in need. I know many years ago, after the flooding, Oakland Cares just went out of their way to help people, collecting money, collecting food, collecting clothes. Now, after talking to other mayors of other towns, I realized our town hadn't done anything, and I spoke to, thank you, Carol Peterson, who tried to contact the Chamber of Commerce, and I said to her, Carol, you're not getting a response from the Chamber, let me see what I can do, and I just started making calls. So to help all our federal employees who are on furlough or who are working and not getting a paycheck. Now, tomorrow I know the Congress and the President are supposed to meet, but we don't know what's going to happen. Meantime, we have federal workers who they still have to pay their taxes because that's by state statute. We can't stop the payment of taxes. Mortgage companies, I don't know what mortgage companies are doing, but you still have to pay your mortgage, you have to pay rent, you have to pay insurance. So let's see if we could try and help them get some food for the family. So I started making calls yesterday, and all afternoon I was on the phone, and next thing I know, every restaurant or deli I called said, oh, thank you for calling me, I'd love to help. So if you are a federal employee and you go into these restaurants or delis, you have to show them proof that you are a federal employee, that you are on furlough or working and not getting paid, and you will either get a dinner, you will get percentage off your meals. Each restaurant has something different to offer you for your family. But the most exciting thing was this morning I woke up, and I put it on my Facebook page, my mayor's Facebook page, because I was worried that not everybody watches our council meetings. So I put on my Facebook page, and this morning I wake up and I get a note from Regina, who owns Cencino's restaurant on 202 North. And she says, oh, please include me. And I've gotten calls from some of the delis and said, but you didn't call me, I want to help. And that's what makes Oakland so special. It's just a fabulous town we live in. We are so lucky to live here. So thank you to Frank's Pizza, Harry at the Oakland Diner, Cafe L'Amour, Luca, Barbecues, Burritos, Sanchino's, Pizza Hut, Portobello's, Wilkes Deli, JD's Deli, and I'm still waiting to hear back from some other people. The owners were not there. The manager said, we'll have to get back to you when the owner comes in. And I'm working with some of the markets for purchases. So thank you to all our restaurants, our food suppliers, anybody that's helping these federal employees. And thank you for being an Oakland resident. It's a great, great town.
And
And
Mayor?
with that, yes?
Don't forget Saffron, even though they're not in town, Star Winder's still a
Oh, Saul
local.
Winters, but I don't know the name of the,
Saffron.
Saffron in Boulder Run.
Wyckoff, yes.
In Boulder Run, the Indian restaurant, Saul Winder, who owns the phone store in Copper Tree Mall. Thank you. And that's for everybody, right? Not just Oakland. That's for all residents.
All
Yeah.
federal employees,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Right. So don't forget, you have to
Yeah,
show
no, because
proof.
I went there for lunch today, actually, I had to pay.
Well, you're not a federal employee.
I know.
Okay. With that, I will open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to speak?
Where's the backup? How do you get to the resolutions for all these?
Okay.
Huh?
Who's speaking?
I am.
Go ahead.
About a month ago, I came to said to the federal statute dealing with watershed.
Right.
Now, what I did is, did a little hunting, drilling down, and I asked a question about watershed and flood. This is all on the federal level. And what came out was the Clear Water Act. Now, the Clear Water Act, there are two agencies of the government that deal with it. The EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers. Now, with that, also in the Clear Water Act, is a phrase that goes through that, waters of the United States. What do they mean by that? Well, waters of the United States meant that the navigable water, also the tributaries in the watershed of it, as long as it has a nexus to that. The water, the Passaic River is fed by that river out there in our backyard, the Ramapo. It is a water of the United States.
Do you know we have an opening on our flood commission that deals with the Ramapo River?
Well,
Have you
okay.
considered
I still got more.
becoming a member?
I still got more, but, on this. But
Would
what-
you consider talk to Councilman Levy after the meeting?
him.
But let me get done with this. Now, dealing with the Clean Water Act, it's involved with how the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA changed their rules in 2015. It brought a whole bunch of lawsuits about it. Right now, their rules are under, their rules are under the Supreme Court decision, which is supposed to be rendered by February 6, 2020, or in about 13 months. And they're changing the rules, and they're going back to the 1986-88 rules, which still has the Ramapo River as a water of the United States. Waters of the United States include not only rivers, but includes lakes, ponds, even down to wetlands. And as long as they have that designation, no matter how it flows, when it flows into the Pompton, it still carries the designation of waters of the United States. It also carries another designation. It crosses a state line. So now we're dealing with that, and we're dealing with the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA. Now, the Army Corps of Engineers, when it looks at watershed, it looks at it for high tide, which we don't have, but we still have the Ramapo River. The Ramapo River's watershed mark starts at the 100-year floodplain, and it goes 4,000 feet from that floodplain. That's their regulation. 4,000 feet is the same as 3/4 of a mile. So now we're dealing with that on that. So that means that parcel of land that you had sitting down on the south end of town is under federal regulation, not the state.
You mean Sandy Beach?
No, I'm talking about the thing off of Long Hill Road,
Bi-county.
whatever it is.
Oh, Great Oak Park?
No,
Bi-county.
Bi-county.
The bi-county
Oh,
property.
But the
yeah.
river doesn't go up there.
No, it doesn't. But the watershed does. That's 4,000 feet, because if you measure from Ramapo Terrace, 4,000 feet. You're now sitting over on, almost onto Breakneck Road. And I also have proof of that, too.
So if you give us all this material, we could have our attorney.
Oh, there's still more,
review it.
because
Oh,
there's other departments that are involved with this. Now, I sit there and I said, you have the EPA, and you also have the Army Corps of Engineers. Who manages that money in that land in the watershed? Take a guess.
I have no idea, just tell
It's
us.
the United States Department of Agriculture. I'm going like this, what do they have to do with that? We don't have cows in this town anymore, you know. But what they do is they have the technology to monitor the land. They also get down into the water runoff and erosion. They work hand in hand with the Army Corps of Engineers on that. Now, they also have something else that goes involved with this. When you look at rain, and this I had from environmental studies in college, when rain falls naturally, 50% is runoff and 50% becomes groundwater. What the hell is groundwater? Groundwater is that water that goes through the soil and will wind up in your aquifer. And it picks up anything that goes along with that, which includes all the good stuff and all the pollution stuff. Now, you can see that in your own water report, because I found out you have a thing that a qualification called MTBE, which stands for methyltributylethylene. I hope I got that right. That stuff is so bad, it's been outlawed in Rhode Island and New Hampshire. You don't want building up there because you're now talking about your public water supply. There's another law that there's involved with, another act, which is called Flood Control and Prevention Act. It's a federal law, which stands there, and they discuss this stuff. This is what we're talking about. Now, what I did was I went and I got the technical document, which will be basically given to the Supreme Court, and I pulled out certain portions of it, even down to the definition of waters of the United States. I have that right here
Well,
for you, you know.
Thank you.
But you-
And I'll give it to our attorney so that
well,
this whole thing with Bi-County, that would be very helpful.
yes, because what
And
I
thank
also
you.
have it here, but what I did was the technical document, I printed off the table of contents.
Okay.
Because if you pull that document up and you hit print, you're printing off 423 pages.
Well, he's in a big law firm now, so he can have people
But
print.
this is what I have. I've got it here, and it's all for you.
Thank you.
And here's even a space shot from
Wow.
the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And if you look closely, you can even see the shop
That
right
would be
on it.
very helpful. Thank you so much.
And it has all the distances here.
Thank you.
So I've been busy.
And I'm going back to what I originally said. Would you be interested in sitting on the Flood Commission?
Let me go talk to that with my bride.
And with Councilman Levy. Councilman Levy, you'll get his name afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but again, you know, it's like.
They meet once a month.
Okay,
And you'd be very helpful. You have all this knowledge.
Well, I dig down through stuff, so.
Well, you do a lot of research, and we appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so my sources of information is actually the Library of Congress and the Congress of the United
Wow.
States. And I also had it from the Clean Water Act, the Flood Prevention Act.
Thank you.
And even down to the law library at Cornell University.
Thank you.
So I did my homework.
Okay.
So
Thank
it's right
you.
here. if I
Very
get
much
it right.
appreciated. I'm going to hold, he's coming, our borough attorney is coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and
give
I
it to
put
him.
By that, and he says, and if you look at it, you can see the shop right there. too.
Great, thank you.
It's all put together.
That's very nice of you. Thank you for
But
doing all this
again,
work.
it's all federal, you know, so.
Very good.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm waiting, come.
Mayor,
Yes.
council members, good evening. My name is John Matarese. You may recall I was here last spring. I spoke with you about the beekeeping regulations.
Correct.
I'm a vice president with the New Jersey Beekeepers Association. So the resolution that you were so kind to pass in the spring,
Just a minute. Shh. Are you having trouble with the computer?
Bob broke it.
Notice, I'm not.
You should have taken the paper packet.
I got the paper.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
It's okay,
apologize.
it's okay. So the resolution that was passed last year by the body and sent to the Department of Agriculture helped us a great deal. Along with other municipalities that pass similar resolutions and our own members speaking out. They withdrew the regulations and they rewrote them.
Great.
However, they just republished them, and it's in the public comment period once again until February 1st. There are some issues with it still, one that we consider to be very serious, and some others that we consider to be not so serious. I can...
What would you like us to do?
I'd like you to pass another resolution in support of the proposed changes.
But that won't be until February.
Well, the public...
That's our next meeting.
The public comment period ends February 1st.
Our meeting is the second Tuesday in February.
Right, but even though the public comment period may close by then, it's still going to carry weight. Another option is you could have the administrator or manager draft a letter with mayor's and council's consent and send that down as opposed to a formal resolution that could be sent directly to the mayor and council, or to the
But we don't know
Department
what
of
you want us
Agriculture.
to say. We would have to have a discussion. What we could do is, if you had a draft resolution.
I do.
What we could do is have our attorney review it, and then we can send it out to all of the council people.
Right.
And if everybody's okay, we can put it on the agenda for the next council meeting and pass it then. If without, if we need any changes.
Very good. One of the, I read some of it, and I
Right.
noticed one of the items of concern was the location of the beehives, and its distance to the property line. And if it was so close, the onus was on the beekeeper to provide.
The one section that we're most concerned about, they made substantial changes to the proposed regulations, but the one sentence, it's almost, I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional, but I'll read it to you, just so you understand our concern. Notwithstanding compliance with this chapter, including these apiary standards, it shall be unlawful for any beekeeper to keep any hive or hives in such a manner or such disposition to pose a direct threat to, 1, public health and safety, 2, bee health as determined by the state apiarist or his or her designee. So, in essence, since the regulations lack a description of what it means to pose a direct threat, this is a very ambiguous language that could be interpreted a myriad of different ways.
Must have been written by a lawyer.
No comment.
He leaves a lot of outs in that statement.
So what we're concerned about is, this goes directly counter to what the legislative intent was, which was to essentially protect beekeeping and encourage it in the state. So what you could essentially get is it brings us right back to square one, where you could end up with a very subjective interpretation of what this is. So there's no definition of what a direct threat is. So
Well,
what,
I'm very lucky, well, not lucky because I had to go to physical therapy, but one of your members of your association is there, and I learned so much about bees while I'm there, and I think it's wonderful. And it's, when you don't know something, it's scary. But when you find out and get full disclosure, all of a sudden you're not so afraid anymore. And it's wonderful. So if you give us your draft resolution, we'll give it to our attorney to review. He'll pass it out to all the council. And if anybody has any questions or changes, and it could, you're putting that away? I'm sorry, he's putting his computer away.
he's done.
Excuse me.
Lock it down. There.
Yes, then we can present at the next council meeting. Yes.
Yeah, just a question, John. Just, since the last time we passed a resolution 6-8 months ago, just bring up to speed what happened. They redrafted the language.
They-
And right now, it's so ambiguous right now that it's still going to create problems to your community? Is that where we are right now?
Yeah, there's some, aside from the one specific issue that I just raised,
Right.
there's a couple other ones that aren't as potentially significant that need to be addressed. They changed the table, if you will, for the hive populations, if you will, on properties. So now that's one of the concerns, is the way they worded it, is they didn't word it up to a quarter acre, they put quarter acre. And I think that was a mere oversight, because their intent was, I believe, to be up to a quarter acre could have 3 beehives and one what's called a nucleus hive. Up to a half acre could have 6 full-size hives and up to 3 nucleus hives. 3/4 of an acre would be 9 and up to 4 nucleus hives. And then it goes on from there. And, it goes up to a significant amount of property where it says that you couldn't have more than 40 hives on one piece of contiguous land. And it breaks it down by hobbyist beekeeper and the commercial beekeeper.
The problem I have is that you want us to endorse something that we can't see.
Well, I'll have it resent. I believe all of the attachments that I'm discussing were sent yesterday in electronic format.
Oh, his computer's down.
So I don't know if
Did you get, is it on yours, Eric?
Let me take a look.
I
I do remember seeing
A
something.
lot of
yes.
attachments, that's why I said
Yes.
come with them.
Right.
You know, I thought you had hard copies.
We did.
It was an email, right?
Because
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
what
an
we're
email.
dealing with.
Well, I could have printed them out, but I was trying to be tree-friendly.
I know, but there's a but. So you have a draft resolution.
Yes.
The,
May I approach?
please,
I can give you
well,
this.
We received the email on Monday.
right. So here's the draft
Yesterday.
resolution. I'm going to give it to our borough attorney to review. He's going to send it to us for comment. And I don't remember, did you copy our borough attorney on the attachments?
I don't believe so.
It
All
just
right,
came to
well,
us.
did you get it?
Yes, it just came to us, the council.
Did you get it? Can you send it to Lisa, who
Yeah.
will send it to
I'll forward it on
Brian? Okay, and then we'll move it from that,
Okay.
all right? But I think it's great, the bees. I mean, I'm fascinated. I keep asking questions every time I see you. I think it's such a fascinating.
The basis of the building block of our whole agriculture.
That's why we're at Garden
All
State.
right,
and
Lee,
to
you wants,
do- and
Lee
to-
wants to speak, but I think he's having trouble getting up.
No, he can get up. He-
I just have
He's in
two
physical
brief,
therapy with me.
I just have two brief uh, things to say. One is, the national survey shows that the large beekeepers don't make honey particularly, they make pollen. They're not after honey, they're after pollen. The majority of the honey that we have in this country is from the small beekeeper. Therefore, it's very essential that we try to keep the small beekeeper so we get small amounts of honey to distribute to the public. And I can tell you, people want the honey. I have people coming up to me all the time, want some of my honey.
It's delicious, because I had a sampling.
The other thing I want to say is this fear of the bees is really not justified. I've kept bees since 1940 off and on. Most of the time when I go in to work my hives, I go in bare sleeves, short pants, no veil, no gloves, no nothing. I use a little smoke, go in, I work my bees. I have no problem with them. Once in a while I get a hive that's a little irritant, and then I put my gear on. But I try to get rid of the bees that are aggressive to keep gentle bees. And so far I've been very fortunate. I got 4 hives now. I was just up there the other day and put some mite protection in there. Went in there without any gear on. The bees never bothered me. What does bother me is yellow jackets. I was driving a team of horses cutting hay back in Maywood in my youth, and I had a bunch of yellow jackets sting the horses. And let me tell you, that caused me a problem. And I have hornets and I have wasps. but I've never had a problem with the honeybee in the garden, around the house, in the lawn, in the yard, clover on the yard. Never had any problem with them. I know they're there, and they land on me, but I've never had a problem with them. So this myth about the honeybee is not a problem. Yellow jackets.
Right, I agree.
All right, we will have our attorney get, our borough clerk will get the email from Councilman Kamala, she has it. She will forward it to our borough attorney, which has your email address on it, and he will be in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Oh,
ma'am.
thank you.
And
Thank you all.
Keep up the good work.
Not to make your eyes glaze over, but in support of what Lee just said, as a country, we produce right now 150 million tons of honey a year.
Wow.
Our consumption is 450 million tons.
Wow.
So we're at a deficit of 300 million tons. So you ask yourselves now, where's that other 300 million coming from?
And the answer is?
Foreign countries. Other
Countries that we don't want to be eating stuff from.
Got it. Thank you.
So we should be encouraging beehives and people who keep beehives.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
And you'll be hearing from Brian Chakowski, our attorney,
All right,
with any
great.
questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for
Thank
bringing
you.
that to our attention.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you, Lee. Feel good.
Good seeing you, Lee.
Anybody else wish to speak? Motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes, January 6, 2019, the oath of office.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Biallo.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
January 9th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If none, roll call.
Councilman Biallo.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Executive January 3rd?
And another special.
Good job.
Oh, I don't have it. No, I don't have it.
So how did you get to this?
The executive, the third?
Okay.
Yeah, I have it.
I don't have it.
All right.
You want to hold it? You can hold it on for the
Thank you.
No, did everybody get the minutes from the special session on January 3rd? It was
Yes. Yeah.
special.
Yes, we have it right here, no?
Okay, any discussion? Roll call.
Well, we need a motion.
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Biallo.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pinutelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
All right, special announcements, appointments, raffles, requests, approval of scoreboard, Field 9. I'm going to ask our rep chairman to come up, and both of you come up. Just give us your name and your position, and talk about the new scoreboard for Field 9, the Anthony Texera Field.
Mike Guadagnino, Recreation Chairman.
Steve Saliani, Recreation Vice Chairman.
He's also the Baseball Commissioner.
That's why it's apropos.
Presently, we have 6 scoreboards on the complex. We've been adding one every year and a half. And we've been doing this with no taxpayer dollars. It's a nice picture of it there. I think everybody has a picture of what the scoreboard looked like. It's
Everybody
very
have?
similar to the other boards that we
Yep.
presently have.
Yeah, thank you.
With baseball crew, we were talking about adding a scoreboard to Field 9, which is the Anthony Texera Field. I understand he was very involved in recreation, as well as the town, specifically involved back in the 50s and 60s. The field's named after him. He's also been retired in the Hall of Fame for the Sports Hall of Fame and the Football Hall of Fame. So the field's still named after him, will always be named after him as long as we're around. I'm sure everybody else is around. So anyhow, we wanted to add a scoreboard to this field. It's a very nice field. It's a Little League-sized field. It's for 9 and 10-year-olds.
Yes.
And we want to add it. So important thing here is that our former baseball commissioner, as well as one of our baseball coaches, Marty O'Brien, he works for Microsoft. He has some sort of arrangement.
Volunteer arrangement where Microsoft matches their employees who do volunteer work, matches an hourly rate for his hours coaching, everything he puts in. So the town gets paid for his volunteer hours.
So we've used some of this money to train coaches, help the baseball players, because it's baseball money more or less. It's helped pay for the scoreboard on Field 8, and now we're going to use it to purchase this board here on Field 9. We're also going to have the Fathers Club, who we have a great relationship with Lou, with Jason, and the whole crew. They're really a great bunch of guys. And they'll be doing the construction, they'll be donating the steel piers, and doing the work for us. So again, this is not going to cost the town anything. The other 6 scoreboards will not cost the town anything. And we're going to continue on that process. And we're going to put the scoreboard, if you know Field 9, the right field section, it's close to the senior center. We're going to put the board right behind the right field fence. And it should be really nice, illuminate there nice. And the kids, the 9 and 10-year-olds, will love it.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, is there any way, or do you thank Microsoft too? I mean, I know the sign is going to be...
Keep buying.
What?
Keep buying Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Okay.
We do thank
We
Microsoft.
didn't.
No, we said we thank Microsoft, and we're doing it here. We're going to put something up on the website, and
Because underneath the scoreboard, it doesn't say anything about Microsoft.
putting something up on the board is a little complicated.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right, just asking.
Yeah, no, it's a little complicated. So this is the best way of doing it.
Okay.
We spoke to Marty, and of course, we're going to send our thank yous to Microsoft. and-
Yes, yes.
As he does all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do we do anything for Marty?
Anyone who donated because of-
Well, you allow him to coach still.
He's
No.
getting us all these funds.
Yeah, we could. We definitely could. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Marty's a great guy. Marty did a great job with the baseball, as a baseball commissioner. Succeeded me, and
Next year.
he's a great coach. Spends a lot of time with the kids, and doesn't have a kid in the program.
The Hero Award.
No questions?
No?
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't leave your certificate here. Take it home. What did I just do with my agenda?
Appointments to the board.
Right, thank you. So we have, the first one is mayoral appointment, and this is for Emergency Management Council, 1-year term. And those positions that are set by statute, we don't need citizen leadership forms, the others you have. There will be some changes because I see some of the people that are on here may be moving. And at some point, Roy Balberger, you're going to have to fill those positions.
Mayor,
Yes.
just before you read the list, there's
You have to
also
read his
2 or
letter.
3 other names on that list that shouldn't be on it because they're
Don't
no
read
longer
my
involved.
list. That's the old one. Read his,
This
read
list,
that, yeah.
okay.
That's who you
That one still has a couple.
That's who he wants appointed.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
even that one's got some errors on it.
So should I hold off? What should I do?
I would, Rich already made notes, he's gonna be talking to Roy to confirm all this tomorrow,
So
so
I'll hold off until the next meeting.
I would.
All right, for emergency management, I'm holding off to next meeting. So Roy Balberger, you heard that you have to coordinate the list either with Councilman Knapp or Borough Administrator. Now, Environmental Commission, this is a little confusing, let's see.
You reappoint him.
I'm reappointing Gina I'm asking for reappointment because it's a council vote. I'm asking for reappointment of Gina Maya Costa as a regular member. Mike Kozak does no longer want to be a member, and Carol Peterson, who was an alternate 1, will take over Mike Kozak's position as a regular voting member. And Daniel Blank, who is
No, you
alternate.
don't have to move him yet. 'cause-
Oh, we can't move him yet, and there may be other changes.
And then
So those are the only 2 I could definitely say.
And then there's,
Allison Fleeson, but we don't know where we're putting her.
yeah, they want her as alternate 1 in Carol's spot.
Oh, she's going into alternate
Yes.
1. That's why I said it was very confusing
Yes.
what they want.
They want her in. as
Okay,
alternate 1.
so here we go. This is what I'm proposing. You're the liaison, so
Yes, I'm
correct
ready.
me if I'm wrong.
I'm ready.
Gina Maya Costa will be reappointed. Mike Kozak did not want reappointment.
Declined.
Carol Peterson will be going in as a regular voting member.
Correct.
She was alternate 1. Her term expires 12/31/20. She will be replaced to finish her term by Allison Fleeson as alternate 1,
Correct.
and nothing else.
Nope, that's
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you. You want to make the
Thank you.
motion?
I make a motion that the 3 names that the mayor just read be approved.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Now we have Shade Tree. No one,
No, there's nothing on.
nothing, I just have
It was only.
Yoshe
I'm not shaking.
Shade.
Not me.
I am.
Do you know what they want?
No,
No.
because we didn't have a meeting there
No.
wasn't a quorum last month.
Green team, we can't do anything yet because we have to reestablish the green team. So we can't do anything with the green team yet. However, we still have openings on the flood commission.
We are wrapping up.
I will say that one more time. We have openings on the flood commission.
Only one. We
One
actually-
opening. Well, what about Steve Foley?
No, he's gonna go back on.
Oh, he is Estipalato? Okay.
Yes, yeah, I told him, and one of the other members believes that they have a friend who, or a neighbor who would like to be on it, and actually Bill Wolford was at the last meeting, and he is
Expressed interest?
thinking about it, yes.
But
so-
you could still go to the meetings. You don't
No, we're
have to be
still short,
on.
we'll still be short one member.
So, speak to Councilman Levy.
Okay.
Because that's what they do, the waterways.
You need water to live.
I know that.
You can't drink a brick.
Right. All right.
Nobody knows how to do research like you.
That'd be a
That's
great
right.
name for an album.
Okay, resolutions. I'm going to read them as a consent agenda. If you want any pulled out, let me know. 1945, now all these appointments have been voted on and approved, so this is just the resolution authorizing the agreement to be sent to these people. All right, 1945, authorized contract borough attorney Brian Chakowski of the firm Cleary, Jacoby, Alfieri, Jacobs, LLC, to serve as borough attorney, 2019, not to exceed $115,000 without prior approval. 1946, authorized contract borough engineer Kevin Boswell, the firm Boswell Engineering, not to exceed $25,000 without prior approval. 1947, authorized contract auditor Gary Vinci, the firm Lurch Vinci Higgins, 2019, at the term up to $36,000, not to exceed $36,000 without further authorization. 1948, labor attorney, authorized agreement of Matthew Jacoby of the firm Cleary, Jacoby, Alfieri, Jacobs, not to exceed $40,000 without prior authorization. 1949, borough planner, Steve Lyden of the firm Burgess Associates, and the amount shall not exceed $8,000 without prior authorization. Bond counsel, 1950, Stephen Rogan of the firm Rogan McCarthy, and there is no, that's the way it is. 1951, authorized agreement of water and sewer engineer Kevin Boswell, the firm Boswell Engineering, not to exceed $20,000 without prior authorization. 1952, risk manager, health insurance, the firm of Boswell Agency, the amount is $37.70 per employee retiree per month for medical. And prescription coverage on $4.68 per month per employee retiree. Commission on life of premium is 7.5%. Commission on short-term disability, 10%, and commission on long-term disability, 15%. 1953, authorized agreement of risk manager, property insurance, liability, workers' comp, the firm of Brown and Brown to serve as the risk manager for property insurance, liability insurance, workers' compensation for the year 2019. And payment shall be made to Brown and Brown directly by the Bergen County JIF. 1954, borough prosecutor Andrew Simaluka to serve as the borough prosecutor, not to exceed $19,350 without further authorization. Alternate borough prosecutor Andrew Roth of G. Antonio and Roth, and not to exceed $1,350 without further authorization. 1956, public defender. You had Nina Remsen in here. Was that a typo?
Yeah.
So on the paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cross that out. It should be Jennifer Blum as public defender, not to exceed $7,200 without further authorization. 1957, agreement alternate public defender, $3,000 to, I didn't see, Tony Ann Marabello, $3,000 without further authorization. 1958, a resolution to reestablish the Borough of Oakland Green Team, to include 5 full voting members, a council liaison, borough administrator, and other associate members that the council may appoint. 1959, reestablish the Great Oak Park Committee, and we have to reestablish it. 1960, authorize agreement with the County of Bergen using $1,400,000 grant for the 2017 funding round of the Bergen County Open Space Recreation Floodplain Protection Farmland Historic Preservation Trust Fund. There's some papers here, I'll explain that when you fully relax. 1961, auction of vehicles. We have a 1997 Ford F-250, 1999 BMW motorcycle, 2001 Ford F-250, and a 2003 Mitsubishi dump truck. 1962, authorized tax appeal settlement for 225 Rampart Valley Road. That is block 2301, lot 14. The assessment of $284,500 reduced to $245,000, resulting in a total refund of $1,119. 1963 is transferred to budget reserves, which has to be done at this time from the current fund of subtotal $17,700 to construction code, garbage and trash, street lighting, electricity for $17,700. 1964, this is the Stream House. It is to authorize Connolly and Hickey Historical Architects, LLC, to prepare dismantling drawings and application for project authorization for the Stream House, and the proposal was dated January 15th, 2019, and the amount shall not exceed $9,400. And to prepare drawings and application for project authorization for the Stream House. 1966, authorized Boswell Engineering pre-diagnostic meeting with NJDOT, and that is dealing with the railroad. That's the easiest way to say it. At Rampart Valley Road and to Union Street Extension, not to exceed $2,000. 1967 is to award contract for CFO monitoring services to Phoenix Consulting Group, not to exceed $15,000. And 1968, authorized recreation bid for recreation, what?
Year I was born.
1968?
And I'll be teaching
It threw me off.
Wait a
minute, that was the year my son. That was before my son was born. Okay, award bid recreation equipment, and it's part of the lead agency of Wyckoff for the cooperative pricing system. And then there's one on your desk for 1969, which is change order fire suppression system project, and that has to do with the Senior Citizens Center, awarded to LaRocca Inc. at the amount of $354,000. The change orders to replace 79 existing 2x4 lights and 12 2x2 lights at an amount of $18,709.95. If there's any questions on that, I need my electricians to say something. Russ or John.
We're changing all the lights. I brought a suggestion up to Rich at the last meeting, that while we have the ceiling all apart, why don't we change the lights to a much more financially better system with LED lights.
Do you agree?
LED lights are definitely more efficient. I just wanted, the whole ceiling came down, and so the light fixtures are down or going to be down?
Yeah, so what kind of prompted this was, and this was part of the scoping of the project, when the building was originally built, the lights were attached in such a way that they no longer meet code. So they were going to need to be taken down and reattached anyway. So what we did was we worked with the architect and the contractor They provided several different lighting designs. It went through engineering, through the architect, to make sure that the lighting levels and spread and all of that would be adequate for the space. And most importantly, that this would not disrupt the project schedule, and they agreed that it would not. So for this cost, we can get all new LED lighting added in at the same time that we have the building, kind of ripped up.
John,
anyway.
aren't there different kinds of LED lighting, like daylight, or dimmer, and?
Well,
'cause I know they put new lights.
I'm
They put
sure they're
LED
gonna pick out the best for the purpose.
But I'm just saying, because I know at the Legion, they replaced 4 light bulbs, the hi-hats with these LED lights. And one of the members was saying, well, that's the bright white light, there's a different kind of light. and He didn't like it, I'm just saying.
Each location has a purposeful light to fill the
Okay.
need. My question to you, Rich, I'm sure you must have thought of this too, being all the lights were down, and we paid for the lights to be down, and we paid for the lights to be put back up again the right way, are we getting a credit on the new lights? Because I saw an $8,000 labor charge for the LED lights to put them in. Now, we would be putting lights in anyway. And I was
We would
just
be putting them
wondering.
back up. I can tell you that was the cost proposal from the contractor, as you see it. I did have a conversation with the architect, who said that he thought it was actually a very good price. It was less than what he would have estimated it to be if we had included it originally in the scope.
Okay, so obviously there was taken into consideration.
I imagine so. He was very pleasantly surprised by the overall
And
cost.
then, the only other thing that I would suggest is if we look for rebates, because you get rebates.
From Rockland Electric?
No, from the state.
Oh, from the state?
From the state for that upgrade. Okay, sure.
But don't we also get it from Rockland Electric?
Yeah, I'm actually on Rockland's site right now, and there are some rebates, looks like, for
Very
LED
good.
conversions.
Isn't that why we have computers?
Do we know how many nits they are?
That's because of the planning board. Anyway, is there
thank
any
you.
you wish to be pulled out? If not, a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialek.
Yes.
Councilman Net.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pimentelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
All right, we have no ordinances, nothing for work session, any new business? Any old business?
I have something.
For old business, new business?
New.
New?
I'm not sure if it's DPW or if it's the historic people, but the flagpole at the Van Allen House is not straight any longer. I'm a big proponent of the flag, so, plus the flag is stuck in the tree. So it needs some attention.
Stuck in the tree?
Yeah, so it blew out.
It blew out and got
it's
stuck.
No different than the Chase Bank, which is stuck in the tree every day of the year, which really annoys me, but it's a private entity, and so that's their own shame by not fixing that. But we should do something about the Van Allen House flag. Rich, I don't know who does that.
Yeah, DPW would be able to address that, so I'll talk with Anthony
It is
tomorrow.
leaning.
Cut a branch.
It is
Thank
leaning.
you.
Well, the pole's
pole
leaning
is
and the
leaning.
flag's stuck in the tree.
Yeah.
So that's a no-go.
Okay, thank you. All right, council committee reports, we'll start with Russ.
Actually, just public events, I know we're going to be meeting tomorrow, we're going to have some discussion about the ornaments, the decorations on the poles.
Yes.
So there's going to be a meeting tomorrow with some members from the public events and
That's
the
right.
and the borough administrator, and I think Eric is going to be there.
The downtown?
And,
The downtown?
yeah, in the
Poles.
downtown, yeah.
Did you, well, Chopper's there.
Yeah, yeah.
And did you invite Mike Rose?
Which, the meeting was set up by Mike.
Chop.
by,
Yeah, I
Michael.
think right now it's just with public events to get their initial input on it.
Okay. Well, Chopper's going to be there, and he's
Chopper's
working
gonna
with
be
Mike
there.
Rose.
Yep.
In fact, they came before Rotary for a donation towards the
To-
lights.
Who did?
Mike Rose.
Who's Mike Rose representing?
The
He's
decorating committee that was working with Chopper, so this is why
Okay.
it's a little confusing.
He's on the ad hoc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And John.
John, but he didn't come to Rotary.
Okay.
Right,
Okay,
right. They're asking for a donation,
yeah.
so
And
keep that in the
then,
back of your mind.
okay. And then, and public events, I missed the last meeting because I'm up to my eyeballs in basketballs right now, and so I was not able to make the last meeting. And then schools, no reports for schools except stay warm.
Well, someone brought up, the schools doing anything for the children of the families of the federal workers? That was brought up to me.
I could bring it to their
You know,
attention.
you know, maybe to help with, I don't know if, you know, if they can help with lunch, you know, like a subsidy or something.
I could ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you'll take care of the shirts for public events?
Yes, yeah.
Good. They
shirts
deserve
are-
it.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Councilman Kamala.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update on the OCC. Just a reminder that their next meeting is March 1st down here at Kansas Council Chambers, and they're still looking for members for the TV committee. Also under recreation, winter sports are going well. It's cold, but basketball is going well and all the other sports. Also, just to reiterate what the mayor said about the bathrooms, there was a walkthrough last Tuesday, a pre-construction meeting, and they are looking to have the bathrooms completed sometime in April. And the first one that's going to be completed will be the Danny D'Elia bathrooms, followed by the bathrooms in the DPW shed. Also, the rec reorg meeting is next Monday, January 28th, starting at 7:30. And Mike wanted me to pass on some information to the residents in regards to the rec field lights. There's been a request from the residents that are using the walking path. And they've received enough requests that they have now put to turn the lights on down at the rec field on fields 4 and 6 to provide safety as people are walking around the track. And the lights are only on till 8:30, weather permitting. If the weather's not permitting, the lights will not come on. So if you do see lights on at the rec field, it is because people are requesting the lights be on so that they can walk and exercise around the track when they get home from work. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
That's for you to review. And
Thank you, Mayor.
Because there was that.
My update report for the senior center. All programs will continue to take place at the Oakland Library, the lower level. Copies of the calendar of events are available at the library and also online. A movie has been scheduled for Thursday, February 7th at 12 p.m., and the action movie is Argo.
Oh, it was a good movie.
Well, you should go there.
I saw it. It was
It's
good.
February 7th. Bingo's been scheduled for Thursday, February 21st, also at 12 p.m. And a reminder for members of the senior club that their meetings will take place at the Knights of Columbus Hall on the second and fourth Thursdays of the month. All those interested in the spring trip to Resorts Casino in Monticello, New York, please mark your calendars for April 4th. Registration for this trip will commence on February the 1st. DPW update. The 2019 LED street light program, upgrade program has been completed and will soon be submitted to Rockland Electric for installation in the late spring or early summer. This year's project was developed with the help of the Oakland Police Department, who put together a list of poorly lit intersections and areas of limited live visibility. I want to thank our police officers for their work in developing this list, which will ultimately mean safer streets for both pedestrians and motorists. Historically speaking, potholes develop quickly in the months of January and February. Our DPW will be out inspecting and repairing our roadways as weather allows. Residents can help by reporting potholes and any other service request by using the request section on the borough website, or by calling the DPW directly at 201-337-8103, or just stopping in at the office located at 63 Oak Street. Christmas trees, as the mayor pointed out earlier, that January 31st will be the last collection day for Christmas trees. If you don't get your Christmas trees out of the house by January 31st, you're going to have to keep them there until next year. So remember to remove all decorations, lighting, and also put them out by the curbside. Also, all wreaths with wire frames will not be accepted either. So that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman.
Yes, Mary, thank you very much. I attended 2 meetings in the past couple weeks, the Environmental Commission and the Board of Health. The Environmental Commission is looking to develop, it's been developed, a module on self-assessment for them to help them progress in a way commensurate with other environmental commissions in the state. They're also looking at a possibility of having 2 people to the Great Oak Park Committee. In case one committee member can't make it, maybe the other person would come to the meeting. Okay, good. As far as the Board of Health reorganized. Congratulations and thank you to Steve Tiffinger, elected president, and Brian LaForge, vice president. And that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. The Shade Tree Commission actually did not have a quorum last month, or this month. However, the Flood Commission has indicated, and I'm actually kind of proud to say that they would like to once again be part of the river restoration project. So I feel that I can make the river restoration updates as part of the Flood Commission report.
We'd love to hear it.
Well, we are moving forward. We have gotten some drone footage of the river, sort of our before we start work, and actually I think, did you get the CD yet, Rich?
No, it has not come in yet.
The borough will be getting a CD of the drone footage, and actually, we think that there's a way, if you have Google Earth Pro, you can overlay the drone trip that they took up the Ramapo River onto a Google Earth Pro and click on it and get pictures of any one of the areas that they photographed. And this is what we're going to take down to the New Jersey DEP probably later this month or next month. I guess this month's almost over, so that we can get permission from them to do the work that we want to do. And on a semi-related note, I actually attended a stakeholders meeting. The New Jersey DEP is going to be declaring our Ramapo River what is called the C1 waterway. So what that means
Protect it.
is that currently, with the Ramapo River, there's what's called a 100-foot riparian zone. You can't do anything within 100 foot. When the river goes to 300 feet, that riparian zone will be out to, when the river goes to C1, it will then be a 300-foot buffer, and that's from the banks of the river. Now, anything that's existing there is going to not be affected. However, anything new would be affected by it. So the New Jersey DEP is working pretty hard to try and make up for some areas that may have been overlooked in the past. And the Ramapo, obviously, for numerous reasons, qualifies as a C1 waterway. We do not expect this to have any impact on our restoration. Matter of fact, this actually supports our restorative efforts in the Ramapo River, so it's a good thing. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't have too much because it's the beginning of the year, so public safety wise, we're going to be having our kickoff meetings within the next month. John spoke on DPW. I want to also congratulate the DPW for one, not just an outstanding job once the storm hit and things happened, but two, the preparation ahead of time is that I don't even watch the weather. I just watch the street, and then I know it's supposed to snow when I see all the brine down. So Anthony and the guys, nice job. As far as my liaison reports, emergency management, I have nothing to report on that as of right now. Municipal Alliance hasn't met yet, and I haven't received the 2019 schedule. And Great Oak Park, our first meeting of the year is next Tuesday, correct? Next Tuesday.
So you're reestablished.
So the only thing I would say, public safety wise, hopefully it doesn't have to happen, because I really don't like snow anymore. But if it does snow, please remember to clear your fire hydrants out.
Thank you. Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to speak? Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills to be paid.
It's actually Russ.
Russ, that's you. New year.
Bills to be paid. $2,156,383.03. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll
You can leave
call.
off with 3 cents when you send that to me.
I'm sorry, what?
Tell him he can leave off with 3 cents when he sends me the 2 million. I'm good.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pingelli.
Yes.
Councilman Calhoun.
Yes.
At this time, we have to go into executive session. As you see, our attorney is here. We need him. And so I need a motion to go into executive
So
session.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we will return.
Guys are on scene.
You should speak to Councilman.
Rich,